I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequence.
Stop for a second and imagine the scene. A little girl, innocent, pure, and completely unaware of the storms swirling around her family, looks up at her mom and asks a question that cuts deeper than any insult, deeper than any fight, deeper than any court order ever could. She asks, "Mommy, why is Aaron always here?" And in that moment, the entire room falls silent. Teyana freezes, Aaron shifts awkwardly, and Iman's face says everything.
Pain, shock,
Betrayal, and the kind of heartbreak that no man, no father, ever wants to feel. The craziest part? This wasn't just some random moment behind closed doors.
no.
The tension was already there, boiling for months. Teyana Taylor, the superstar, the mom trying to juggle fame, motherhood, and love, had been walking a dangerous tightrope. On one side, her estranged husband Iman Shumpert, the father of her kids, the man who once was her ride or die. On the other side, Aaron Pierre, the new man who had been creeping into her life, into her home, and now into the awareness of her children. And when a child notices something, that's when you know it's real. See, kids don't lie. They don't sugarcoat. They don't care about public image or tabloids. They see things exactly as they are. And when Teyana's daughter asked that question, she wasn't trying to cause drama. She was just confused. To her, Daddy wasn't around as much anymore, but this new man was. Always in the house. Always laughing with Mommy. Always sitting at the table. Always there. Too much there. And in her little mind, she just wanted clarity. But in the minds of the adults, that one question ripped open every hidden wound. Let's rewind a little, because to understand why this single moment carried so much weight, you have to know the history. Teyana and Iman's relationship was never picture perfect, but it was powerful. They were a power couple that people admired, a mix of music, fashion, sports, and love. They had their ups and downs, sure, but fans believed they were unshakable. Then the cracks began to show. Rumors of infidelity, emotional distance, and the pressures of fame started eating at them. By the time Aaron Pierre appeared in Teyana's orbit, things between her and Iman were already fragile. Now, Aaron wasn't just some random guy. He was charming, attentive, and everything Iman hadn't been in recent months. He showed up when Teyana needed a shoulder. He gave her attention, affection, and consistency. The problem? He gave it not just to her, but around her kids. And that's where lines got blurred. See, it's one thing to move on after a breakup. It's another to move on while your kids are still trying to figure out why Daddy's gone. So picture this. Teyana's daughter sitting at the dinner table. Aaron's there, pouring himself a glass of water, like he lives in the house. Teyana's smiling, trying to keep everything normal. Iman's there too, visiting, trying to maintain his bond with his child. And then, out of nowhere, the little girl looks up and asks that one devastating question. Why is Aaron always here? The words hang heavy in the air. Teyana forces a smile, stammers something about he's just a friend. He helps Mommy sometimes. But kids know when they're being lied to. And Iman? His jaw tightens. His eyes lower. His lips press together, so tight they look like they might disappear. He doesn't say a word, but his silence is louder than any scream. His face is screaming. My daughter notices another man here more than she sees me. That's the kind of pain that doesn't just sting, it destroys. Aaron, on the other hand, tries to play it off. He chuckles awkwardly, shrugs, maybe even says something like, I guess I'm just around a lot. But that only makes it worse. Because in that moment, he looks less like an innocent bystander and more like the intruder Iman believes he is. Imagine being a father, sitting across the table, and hearing another man casually admit he's always around her child. That's not just uncomfortable, it's unbearable. When the daughter leaves the room, that's when the real tension explodes. Iman turns to Teyana, his voice low but shaking with rage. Why is he always here, he demands. And Teyana, defensive, insists Aaron is just a friend, someone supportive, someone she trusts. But Iman doesn't buy it. To him, this isn't about friendship. This is about being replaced. About losing his role in his daughter's life. About watching another man step into shoes that don't belong to him. Teyana fires back, frustrated. She tells Iman he hasn't been there enough, that Aaron steps in when he doesn't, that she's tired of doing everything alone. But those words only cut deeper. Because to Iman, that's not just an explanation. It's an accusation. It's a confirmation that he failed, and someone else is succeeding where he couldn't. And Aaron? He just sits there, watching the storm unfold. Part of him wants to defend himself, but another part knows nothing he says will help. To Iman, he's already the villain. To Teyana, he's the comfort. And to the little girl, well, he's the question mark that she can't yet understand. The aftermath of that dinner rippled far beyond those four walls. Because kids talk. Maybe she mentioned it to her friends, maybe to a teacher, maybe even to a relative. Either way, word started spreading. Soon blogs were running with it. Teyana's daughter questions Aaron's constant presence. Social media picked it up. Fans debated, argued, dissected every detail. Was Teyana wrong for letting Aaron spend so much time around her kids? Was Iman overreacting? Was Aaron crossing boundaries? The internet had no shortage of opinions, and none of them were kind. Some people sided with Iman, saying no child should ever feel confused about who the father figure is. Others defended Teyana, arguing she had every right to move on and surround her kids with stability. And then there were those who dragged Aaron, accusing him of sliding into a family that wasn't his, of trying to take Iman's place. The debates got ugly, but the truth remained. That little girl's innocent question had ignited a wildfire. Behind the scenes, though, the real damage was happening in Iman's heart. He wasn't just angry, he was broken. He started questioning everything. Had his daughter already started seeing Aaron as more present than him? Would she grow up remembering Aaron's face at the dinner table instead of his? Was he losing his place not just in Teyana's life, but in his child's? Those thoughts tortured him, and you could see it written all over his face. Teyana, meanwhile, felt trapped. She didn't want to push Aaron away, because he had become her rock. But she also didn't want her kids to grow up confused, or worse, thinking their dad was less important. She tried to balance it, but the truth is, once a child notices something, balance is already gone. And Aaron? He stayed quiet publicly, but privately, he wrestled with guilt. He never set out to replace Iman, but his presence was undeniable. He was there, too much there, and now he had to live with the fact that even a child could see it. That one question didn't just shake a dinner table, it shook the foundation of an entire family. And the saddest part is, there's no easy fix. Once a child asks, "Why is he always here?" the answer doesn't go away. It lingers. It festers. And it forces everyone involved to face a truth they weren't ready for. And that's where things stand now, a family caught in the turbulent crossfire of loyalty, love, and deep, unsettling confusion. On the surface, they appear like any other family, bound by blood and shared memories. But beneath that facade lies a fragile web of emotions threatening to unravel at any moment. A father, once the pillar of strength, now finds himself haunted relentlessly by a single image, the look on his daughter's face. It wasn't an angry look, nor one of disappointment, but something far more painful, a silent confusion mixed with a desperate longing to understand what was happening around her. That look keeps replaying in his mind, a reminder of the cracks in their family's foundation that he never wanted to see. The mother, caught in the eye of this storm, finds herself torn between two realities. There is the man she once loved deeply, the one she vowed to build a life with. And then there is the man who's always been there, steady and reliable, silently supporting her through years of silence and sacrifice. This invisible tension gnaws at her heart, creating a constant battle between past promises and present truths. She struggles to hold onto the pieces of the family she once dreamed of, even as the walls close in tighter with every passing day. And at the center of it all is the little girl, innocent, honest, and unburdened by the complexities that weigh so heavily on the adults around her. She asks questions that cut through the fog of denial and fear, questions so simple, yet so profound that they expose the fractures no one dared to acknowledge. It was her one innocent question that shattered the fragile silence, forcing hidden secrets and unspoken emotions to surface. Her voice, pure and unfiltered, echoed louder than any argument or accusation ever could. Because sometimes it's not the big fights, the shouting matches, or the dramatic scandals that tear a family apart. Sometimes it's something much smaller, a single moment of clarity, a single question asked with the honesty only a child can have. And in this case, that small voice was the loudest truth of all, shining a harsh light on everything adults were too afraid to